Saw, dude. Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, hello, my name is Carlee and I cover crime cases that are currently happening. A lot of them are still developing and whatnot, so I'm just here to kind of keep you guys a little bit more informed about what's going on around the US as far as cases that we just, don't really maybe hear as much about because there's bigger ones that just get a little bit more media attention. So I'm just trying to help keep you guys informed on what's going on in crime news today. Let's jump into today's case. Michael and Tasha Hott have been married since 2003. Tasha was originally from Overton, Nevada, which is about 2 hours from Cedar City, Utah, where Michael grew up, so not super far apart, but also not very close. However, on Wednesday, January 4th, 2023 in Encoche, Utah, the police department was dispatched to the couple's home. They had received a wellness check because Tasha had an appointment that morning, but she missed it, which caused the person that she had the appointment with to call and request a wellness check just to make sure that everything was okay, because it was unlike Tasha to miss an appointment. After entering the house, police found Tasha, her mother Gail Earl, 78 years old, her husband Michael, and their 5 children, all dead in the home. Now, the children's ages range from 5 to 17. I'm not going to give their names and specifics about them, just for privacy reasons. That's kind of sensitive information, and I don't feel like spreading that. After killing his wife, mother-in-law, and 5 children, Michael seemingly turned the gun on himself and committed suicide. So this is not only a murder, this is a murder-suicide investigation. After the murder took place, a Utah newspaper had to apologize for publishing a glowing obituary for Michael. The obit stated that he made it a point to spend quality time with each and every one of his children, coached his children's sports teams, attended concerts, and went sledding with them. Obituaries may be written and submitted by funeral homes, as was the case here, said Gannett, owner of the Spectrum, in a statement. Spectrum is where the obituary was published. I just want to make that clear. The Spectrum removed the obituary due to the circumstances and sincerely regrets any distress this may have caused. I did try looking up Michael's obituary just to get a little bit more information about the couple, and so I could maybe provide a little bit more background, but it was already removed. So then I read this, which now clearly all of that makes absolute sense. Michael had been an insurance salesman, and I believe Tasha was a stay-at-home mother with 5 children. That absolutely would make sense. I mean, that's a lot of kids, and you have young kids too that aren't yet in school. 2 weeks before the murder-suicide, Tasha had filed for divorce from him on December 21st. James Park, Tasha's divorce attorney, claimed that she had never expressed any fear that her husband would physically hurt her, but he declined to elaborate any due to the ongoing investigation, which totally makes sense. You don't want to say something that, isn't supposed to be released to the public or could alter the investigation in any way. He said that he only met with her twice, but described her as an incredibly nice lady. Back on August 27th, 2020, Michael was investigated by the police for child abuse. This was only 2 years ago. I don't know, it's very sad, but this is very foreshadowing. However, Michael wasn't charged because there was insufficient evidence to pursue criminal charges, likely based on an inability to prove each element of the case beyond a reasonable doubt and/or statute of limitation barriers. The district attorney, Chad Dotson, said that no interviews or police reports from the investigation were ever sent to his office for formal screening of charges. The Iron County District Attorney's Office takes allegations of child abuse very seriously, continued Dotson. When law enforcement is unsure whether criminal charges are appropriate, cases are sent to our office to be formally screened. We review such cases and all associated reports and interviews in depth. Only then do we determine whether sufficient evidence exists to prove a case beyond a reasonable doubt at trial. Officials conducted forensic interviews with Michael, Tasha, and their teenage daughter in question. The daughter told investigators that Michael had assaulted her more than once over a 3-year period. She mentioned an incident in the family's piano room where he became angry at her and grabbed her by the shoulders. He shook her and her head banged into the wooden piece along the back of the couch. The daughter told investigators that she was terrified that he was going to harm her, and that while she didn't get any physical injuries in the piano room, she was mostly scared, which is absolutely reasonable enough. I mean, if an incident like that happened where you were physically and literally shaken by another family member, that is, I mean, that's scary. And like, that's totally reasonable enough to call authorities and make sure that everything gets checked out. I don't know. I fully understand if she was the one that had called in the report, which it never said who did. That's fully understandable, because if he's willing to do that to her, it could very easily escalate. So I think that if she was in fact the one that had called in the report, it's totally justified. In another altercation, she said that she was in the pantry of the kitchen when Michael became so angry at her that he grabbed her around the neck and choked her. The daughter stated she was afraid he was going to keep her from breathing and kill her. She did walk backwards a little bit on her statement, saying that she didn't lose her breath and Michael didn't choke her, but who knows, she could have been scared at what was going to possibly happen to her father. You just never know. In a third situation, the daughter reported a situation in the family garage where her father grabbed her by the shoulders and shook her. She reported no injuries from the shaking. The daughter said that Michael would often put down Tasha, calling her stupid and lazy. I feel like he's shaken her now 3 times. This could very easily escalate into something more serious. So, again, if she was in fact the one that, reported him, I think that's totally justified. But that after defending her mom, that would only make him angrier. Michael admitted to losing his temper and yelling at his children from time to time. He said that he believed Tasha was talking to his soon-to-be ex-sister-in-law about his mother and his sister, and he said that he did take Tasha's cell phone and her tablet to look at text messages. The police warned him, but ultimately felt that they didn't find enough to charge him. They had insufficient evidence. Tasha hoped that the incident would be a wake-up call for Michael. Tasha also told family members that Michael had removed guns from the home. She and her mother, Gail, had firearm training, and that by removing the guns, the women were left vulnerable. This is really sad. Anytime there's children involved, it makes it like 10 times harder. And I mean, murder-suicides are always such a yucky situation. So I hope that the family that's related to them is seeking help and that they are coping as best as they can. My thoughts definitely go out to them. However, that is it for me today. If you guys enjoyed hearing about this story, please be sure to give it a thumbs up down below and subscribe to my channel if you would like for more stories like this. But that is it for me today. I'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. with another True Crime Courier story. Bye, guys.